Hey. I'm back. It actually goes into a second song, but the second song is another 3 minutes, and I'm already here, so I don't need to play that. Today I'm going to play Super Cloudbuilt. It's just like an indie parkour type game. You'll get to see it in a second. I thought it was interesting, totally up my alley. Technically a sequel, I think, but I think it's more like a redux of the original, so I figured rather than play the original, I'd play this. We'll see how long, maybe like two or so hours. I'm not actually sure how long, but the reviews seem around there. Before I do that, though, I want to show you guys something that I saw today while I was driving. I took these pictures. This motherfucker just drives around my area, I guess. And if you look at the license plate, you'll notice that not only is it waifu for you, but it says, "I'd rather be watching anime." And I'd like to say it again for anyone that just got here. I took these pictures. This is like outside my neighborhood. And you can't see it too well, but in the bottom right it says anime in the streets, hentai in the sheets. Not pictured in these photos. On the side, there's another one of a half-clad anime girl with a phone number on it. Of course, I took a picture. I'm not going to show it here because that's not a good idea. But I tracked down where the phone number on the side of the car was from, and it's to a barber shop. But it's not just like a random number on the side of the car. It's a it's a number to a barber shop on top of an anime girl. So like this person must be associated with them, right? Like what? I thought it even said on the car like this double like. Yeah, come get a barber shop, something about it. I don't understand what their advertising is, but it worked. So I'm gonna play Super Cloudbuilt now. I'm not planning on playing anything else today, but something I noticed is there are a couple of games that I do want to play this week that I'll talk about routinely throughout it. No, apparently they updated Quake Champions to get rid of loot boxes. Which, if you played Quake Champions, it kind of sucked how they forced you to use loot boxes to get items. But they undid that, so I might do a stream of Quake Champions later in the week. Thanks, Skirbles. But just for today, I want to play this. Yeah, there's a battle pass. I think they're implementing some... I don't want to say the word... But it's a battle pass. You guys know where the idea was probably originated from. So if it's, I mean, if it's a good system, I'm not going to complain. I think anything's better than the loot box system they had before, honestly. So I haven't played this game before. I've not played any game like it. I'm going to use this opportunity to learn the game. So excuse me. Also, let me know if the audio is too loud or anything. Am I really 11.5? If I was, I would be in a different profession than YouTube. I guess Twitch too, technically. Plan on doing more Jackbox? Yeah, apparently the numbers for Jackbox streaming actually, like, blow up around New Year's. Like, they're hitting records right now. So I guess there's just more people doing viewer games. Just don't forget who started it. I invented Jackbox. I mean, I didn't, but I think my point is that I'll probably play it, yeah, this week sometime. So I'm gonna follow the tutorial, but I'm sure, I mean, I'm not sure anyone noticed, but this isn't actually what the game normally looks like. I have it on, like, painterly mode. Technically, the normal game looks like this. I cycled through the visual settings. I like the painterly one better. I thought this was a bit scratchy. I mean, it's like, what's the word? It's designed well, but I don't know. I just got a soft spot for simple textures, so not that anyone cared, but I'm just letting you know. I'm playing on this setting. It doesn't necessarily reflect what the developers wanted, but I think it's a lot easier to look at least when I'm streaming. Any plans for a New Year's stream? That's a good question. I don't have anything explicit, but I've also kind of been taking the last few weeks, I wouldn't say like to take a break from streaming, but kind of just readjust myself and obviously get the YouTube videos I was working on done. So I haven't done too much planning for the rest of the year, but I may pull something out. Something cool. And, well, I'm not actually sure what the jump is. There it is. Either way, past New Year's, I'll be more on top of it. But right now, it's kind of up in the air for me. Ever stream Eyes of Heaven? I got a lot of requests for that one. I'd say yeah. I'd say without a doubt I'll eventually play it. It's more just about, like, when I will. So I have to keep resetting, because I'm losing it. I got an electric guitar today, heck yeah. Right on, man. Electric was my first guitar. Incidentally, I ended up playing my acoustic way more, but that's almost more just for convenience. Because the only way I can play my electric is with, like, virtual lamps. And while that sounds fine, it's just, I don't know. Something more compelling about hearing it played without headphones. Been on top of things lately, good job. I haven't been on top of this tutorial, but I appreciate it. I feel like the LB jump is kind of weird. Like, I'm so used to it being a bumper, or even A. So for it to be a button, or a trigger rather than a bumper, made it. Got a violin? Ooh, that's cool. See, a violin is one of those instruments I always appreciate when I hear it, but I don't know if I could, like, learn it. At least not without learning the instruments I'm already trying to learn. Smell a lot? Took showers. I think the notification sounds a little quiet. I'll just leave it as it is, but I'll up it next stream. Alright. I can't tell if it wants me to jump down. It seems like it wants me to go up there. Got any more visual design ideas floating around in your head, or is that all of it between JoJo and DBZ? I mean, in the immediate future, like, the next video probably won't be visual design based, but there's definitely more in the books for me. I love talking about stuff like that. So there'll definitely be more. I wanted to talk a bit about, like, audio design and stuff like that, but I want to do my research before I jump into anything like that. I'll try my best for the next visual design video to not be about anime. I'll try. I'll try. I can promise you that much. I can teach you how to play saxophone. Saxophone is high on the list of instruments I want to learn. Before I die, I will no doubt own and hopefully learn saxophone.
Up here,
but as I've gotten older, he said not even mid-20s, I've learned to take it one step at a time. If I like picked up a saxophone now, I wouldn't get anything done on any instrument.
Well, that wasn't too hard.
What song do you think would sound best if covered by a mandolin? I got one and I love playing it. There is an Oven song with a mandolin I really liked. I think it's named Dead as Fuck, but I think it's hard, like, Ovens is hard to find, like, how to play their songs, although a lot of them are pretty simple. I mean, I can't really answer that. That's kind of something you gotta answer for yourself. How about what music you want to play?
There you are. But where are you taking me? Are we getting close?
Can I make that? Alright. I hit stuff with wood sticks. Drums are so weird.
This had better start making some sense.
I think I have the ultimate respect for parents of upcoming drummers. Because who the fuck would ever willingly buy their child a drum kit? In what scenario you're like, you know what I want the next 6 years of my life to be? Not quiet. So any parent that's willing to do that is like parent of the year for me. What's your music genres? Like my taste? Right now, a lot of indie jazz. In general, very rock-oriented. And a lot of, like, psych rock recently.
Okay,
Power pop.
Let's see where this leads me.
But I mean, I'll take anything. I'll even listen to some country. I won't go out of my way for it, but there's like a selection of country songs that, you know, I won't skip. I'm not one of those, I listen to everything except country kind of people, you know. I can respect a couple. I don't even count country roads. What would you classify to be worthy of a Funk TV? Do you mean like in general or specifically? Because my expectations for a Funk TV are just like analyzing a concept that is used in media but not necessarily explained. Like the first few Funk TVs were just like TF2 stuff I wanted to talk about, but for the last few episodes it kind of like found its identity.
This feels so
But there's not like a specific description.
It's so different.
It's not like I'd exclude something from a Funk TV just because it didn't like fit a mold, you know? You know, visually this kind of gives me Defunct vibes. Maybe that's just because of the high FOV though. Okay, it's the menu. I don't have anything to put on yet, though.
Some part of me doesn't want to go any further.
Also, this is one of those games I gotta, like, pay attention. So I'll try to find a balance of checking chat and playing.
And here I am without a gun or anything. Just great.
More of a things Funk is interested show? Yeah, it's a good way to put it. I mean, that's my whole channel.
Shouldn't assume the worst.
My channel is just whatever I'm interested in that particular week. Green. Defunct is a great game. I wish it would get a sequel. Or, like, the developers of Defunct going on to do something else, like, equally cool. Not even a sequel. It's like a spiritual successor. I want another game that gives me the feeling Defunct gave me. Defunct was an indie game. Pretty much, I would call it like almost a semi-open world Sonic game. Like, you know, Sonic is just an on-rails roller coaster kind of game. It kind of gets rid of the on-rails part. So you're still going in a direction, but, you know, you go off ramps and shit. A really cool indie game. I feel like, I certainly hope in my lifetime, someone's gonna take that concept to the next level. Right now, we're kind of waiting.
Not quite what I was expecting.
Have you seen Starlink? That rings a bell, but I'm gonna have to go with no. I've certainly heard of it. Tell me hold RB, but okay. It weirdly wasn't.
Well, I guess it'll have to do.
It's for the Switch, right? Defunct? I played it when it was on PC. It's definitely on Steam. If it's on Switch, then I'd say easily a good Switch game to get if you're looking to pick up, like, indies on Switch. I've been trying to get, like... If I see an indie is both on Steam and on Switch, I generally try to get it on the Switch. If only, one, so I can, like, pay off buying the console. into, I don't know. Just want to, like, what's the word? I want to support the Switch scene. Also, the controls are pretty good for a lot of indie games. I'm not sure where I'm going here. I think I gotta bust these purple things. I'm playing on controller, but I feel like this might be easier on... Hold on, I'm gonna try keyboard. Because there's a lot of, like, aiming. The problem is, I know all the controls on controller, so now I gotta relearn them. Is this Indie Mirror's Edge? It's been compared. But as far as I'm aware, no. Alright, I think I'm just busting all the purple things in the area right now. That's all of them. I played a good bit of Smash. I've been starting to find my legs on Mewtwo, playing a lot of him. I don't know if I'd call him my main, but I'd certainly say he's the one I've most been pursuing getting good at. I've done a couple Smash streams, though it's been a good week or so. Oh shit, you can like change the view. That's cool. Note to self, no wall climbing. What's this game? So this game is a parkour-based... I think it has puzzle elements, but it's not necessarily a puzzle game. It's more like platforming. So far, I'm getting Mirror's Edge vibes mixed with like Defunct. But I'm only like 20 or so minutes in, so that may change. I'm a big sucker for any, like, movement-based game, I found. I found, like, a big reason I can't get into FPS like CSGO and kind of Rainbow is just because I've been, like... I don't know, my brain's been wired to like movement, and those games are not quite as movement-based. They're more positioning and game sense. Not only that, just like games in general, I found I have a fixation on movement-based games. Statement doesn't mean anything, it's just my own observation about myself. Also, I haven't heard any complaints, but I'm gonna assume the audio level's alright. Because I just had to turn it down on my end, but... I don't know if that was it. Alright. Sub-Smash tournament. I could congregate one. Damn, I gotta get used to the jump. I'll get back to you on that. I like this so far. Where do I send money? For the you know... I mean, I guess you'd have to be a sub, but... you can keep your money. What's your favorite food? I'd say I'll never pass up an authentic Mexican taco. Not just like the hard shell American, like an authentic cuisine taco. I don't know. I'm definitely feeling elements from stuff like Psychonauts. Like, not that it took inspiration from Hat in Time, but the platforming element kind of gives me the same idea. And I know Hat in Time was heavily inspired by Psychonauts. So I'm kind of just connecting the dots on that one. What did you have for breakfast? 2 donuts. But to be fair, I went out and got donuts because my pantry was empty, so I had to go buy food. So I didn't make... Usually my breakfast is like a home-cooked sausage and nuts and berries. Like that's just been my trio for every breakfast. I'll make like small variations, like change what kind of nut or berry, or replace sausage with like an omelet. But generally it's something like that. Man, I am just not nailing that. Sausage is good. It is. See, here's the thing. I get why people are vegan. I don't like how majority of animals are treated either. But I don't mind hogging down a hog. But once lab-grown meat gets there, I'm on board. Until then, I'm a hog away. You can boost while you're on the wall if you press shift. Thank you. No doubt that's part of my problem. Oh yeah, that's so much easier to use. Yeah, makes more sense than what I was doing. Whoa. I haven't been this far before, so I'm trying to figure this out. What are some YouTubers you like to watch? My top YouTubers are Captain Christian, I don't have a mental list, but I've been watching some Shammy videos recently. Otherwise, I'd have to check my subscription feed. But pretty much anything with a scripted script. Anything with a scripted script, I will at least give the benefit of the doubt and try. Uncle Dane, definitely up there. It's like a game that would be in the background of a Leafy video. I'll take your word for it. Okay, I see what it wants me to do now. Nice. Yeah, I figured that out with the orbs. I just wasn't sure if I actually had enough to go up here if I needed something. I'm like looking to see if there's anything up here. I think it was just like a mini tutorial. I want to turn down the sensitivity. The aiming is hard.
Not this way.
Whoops! Favorite video game characters. Easily young Dante from Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 3, I guess, technically. Hat Kid from Hat in Time. Honestly, one of my favorite characters. Toon Link, kind of for the same reasons. Like the nefarious or mischievous kind of kid. The Demo Man from Team Fortress 2. He's a good one. A good character, I hear. Familiar with the noise rock band Daughters? Oh, I know that name, but no. I think that like I have one of their albums saved so that I could listen to it. Wait, is Daughters the band that Anthony Fantano just gave like their new album a 10 out of 10? Or their 9 or whatever? Because if so, I do know them. Deploy a checkpoint? Yes, it is. Oh, that is the... Okay, I do know. I listened to that... So, like, for context, Anthony Fantano, music reviewer, gave this one noise rock band, like, a 10 out of 10. And he doesn't dish out 10 out of 10s too often, so I was like, alright, I gotta listen to this. Because I'm a big fan of noise rock. And generally, I agree with him on his reviews. I think he's a little biased on the Daughters. I listened to that album. I didn't think it really pushed the noise rock genre much. I didn't dislike it. And I still like the band, I'd say, but that's just my hot take. I guess, like, it kind of depends on your criteria, because I like noise rock with sort of melodies that are just, like, overdriven. And the Daughters isn't really melodic. They're kind of... they're, like, almost like Death Grips in a way, where it's just noise that happens to be in, like, a rhythm, but there's not really, like, a melody to it. Anyways, I'm not a music reviewer, so my opinion is null and void. Did you draw your character Bommy? And if so, do you have any place that you post art? Because I love it. Oh, thank you. I don't really like do art that much. I kind of mostly just do art when I need it for something. When I was younger, I would like doodle a lot. But that actually does remind me. I was meaning to show something. So, I know there's like at least one artist generally in the chat. And people keep like reposting an old Bommy reference I made like a year ago, which is heavily outdated. This is the official Bommy reference sheet, okay? Stop sharing the old one. It's also in the Discord, so don't worry if you missed it. I panicked. I guess I'd never really answered the question, but I don't really have a place where I draw art. If I do draw art, it'll definitely end up in my Discord somewhere, but right now, no. I have had, like, an urge to, like, get back into drawing, though. Like, I just want to, like, start working on, like, a bit, like a... I don't know what you call it. Like, a single piece. If it ever comes out, then I'll let you know where. I do not plan on playing Barbie's Equestrian Adventure yet. No. I don't really like the crosshair. Maybe I'm just a fan of single dot crosshairs, but I don't think I can actually change it. It's not like a huge deal, but that's... I feel like that you should be able to change that. What albums would you call a 10? Alright, I'm gonna sound like... generic white zoomer between the ages of 15 and 25 here, but Weezer's Pinkerton, 10 out of 10. Neutral Milk Hotels in the Airplane, 10 out of 10. I want to pick an Ozma album, but I'm not sure which one deserves a 10 out of 10. I feel like Boomtown is... Well, I don't know. I guess those are just the two that come to mind. Anything else, it would probably be a 9. But I think both Pinkerton and In the Airplane deserve 10 out of 10, not necessarily because, like, they're the definitive music, but, like, they're very authentic and provide an experience that very few albums give. A lot of albums can give you the experience... I'm cheating, by the way. They can give you experience of, like, oh, this is a jam. I can bop to this. A lot of albums can go like, this is so sad, can my dad hit me? But very few albums can make me feel, you know? And those two albums made me feel. I don't just mean like feel sad or happy, I mean like feel. What are your favorite movies? Isle of Dogs is up there. Honestly, I think I'd give a spot to Into the Spider-Verse now. It definitely has its downsides, but Isle of Dogs, or Into the Spider-Verse is definitely up there with Isle of Dogs for me. I'm sure there are more, but there are. I don't have them
Could this be my way out?
at the top of my tongue. What's your favorite Weezer album? Did you actually just ask that after I told you my two 10 out of 10 albums, and only one of them was Weezer? Man, I wonder.
Well, here we go again.
Oh, yeah, I used to play the hell out of Gary's mod.
I remember.
Maybe not the hell, not like
I shouldn't be
TF2.
alive.
Never played it like
Battle
that,
was fought
but
and lost. The last thing I remember.
yeah,
is
like
an
there's definitely a
insane
time where I would play on
feeling
like
that everything
jump
was
maps
lost.
and
That message
prop
last
hunt and
time suggested this is some
in,
kind of
Gmod.
recovery process, that my mind is in some kind
I haven't
of
talked
limbo.
too much about this game yet, but I'm enjoying it. I like the movement. It doesn't seem over encumbering, not so not so confusing or complicated that I'm managing a bunch of stuff. Just having fun. Favorite video game OST? I think I gotta give it to Sonic Adventure 2. I know that's a controversial opinion, because, like, you almost wouldn't even consider that to be, like, a soundtrack, right? You wouldn't even consider that a video game soundtrack? But come on. I would put Live and Learn in my actual playlists. But if you want, like, actual OSTs, Celeste, Hotline Miami, Wind Waker. Wind Waker's up there. Somehow survived it. I'd even have an honorable mention for Hat in Time. I think Hat in Time is up there. Super Mario Sunshine deserves a spot too. Undertale, you know, honestly, yeah, Undertale, definitely up there. But I'd say, like, the game I've most been, like, my breath's been taken was probably Celeste. Celeste won Best Game Soundtrack this year, I believe, and they fully earned that. It's a fantastic soundtrack. I know, like, Megalovania is a huge meme, but it's a huge meme because it's actually, like, a fucking banging song. No Kid Icarus? I never played Kid Icarus, Sakurai. Stop fucking asking. I don't think I can... Okay. Am I supposed to grab them? little confused here. Play Kid Icarus, it's actually insanely underrated. I don't think the game's bad. It's just, you know how Kid Icarus is. It was never large in the States, so I never really got exposed to it. And now, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you sort of decide for yourself. And I have not decided for that yet. I feel like every Zelda game has a fantastic soundtrack, so it's almost not even fair to try and, like, choose one. I feel like you can just name any... I didn't know you could kill yourself. I feel like all you have to do is pick one Zelda game and you're good. You don't have to, like, pick a specific one. What's your favorite FPS game with 9 classes that has 2 teams, red and blue? Oh, that's easy. Fortress Forever. The outskirts of this remind me of Splatoon single player. And a little bit of like... I don't know. Alright, note to self. Don't charge a ball right where you're standing. Any games you're excited for 2019? Doom Eternal. Probably #1 spot. What else is coming out 2019? The Game Awards didn't really announce anything that cool. So I'm kind of waiting to hear what's coming out next year. Is that Skyrim for your phone game out yet? I know it's not actually Skyrim, it's like Elder Scrolls Mobile. When does that come out? I don't care about it, I'm curious if that's 2019. DMC5, right? DMC5 is in March, I think? Or maybe a bit earlier. I'm looking forward for that. I still need to play 4, but I'm gonna definitely keep that. Animal Crossing for Switch. Obviously the Pokemon RPG for Switch too. If another if another game comes from the guys that made Marble It Up, I'm looking forward to that. This is just a theory, but I'm still clinging to the chance of a Mario Odyssey 2. I think we might, this is like my wishful thinking, but I think next year we're gonna get an Odyssey 2. Because why would they not do DLC, right? There has to be a reason. And it's been over a year, I think we're gonna get another. Cube World update. Is Hytale coming out next year? I'm looking forward to Hytale. I know the beta's coming out next year, I believe.
This place is extraordinary.
I don't know if the game itself is, though.
I can do things here that, well, it's the stuff of dreams. I have to expect that I might be dreaming. I wonder what's happening outside this room. What happened to the others? Did they end up like this as well? There are so many questions, but it seems like I'll need to find the answers on my own.
I'm sure you'll answer them out loud to yourself, too. You seem to enjoy doing that. Breath of the Wild 2. I think a Breath of the Wild 2 is plausible, but I don't think next year plausible. Granted, Breath of the Wild came out before Odyssey, so logically that would have started development first. But I don't know, I feel like you can get an Odyssey 2 done way faster. Like, if they make an Odyssey 2, then it's like making a Galaxy 2. If they make a Breath of the Wild 2, it's like making Majora's Mask. I don't feel like they're comparable. Like, I reckon one is a sequel and the other is basically just a glorified expansion. Which I'm fine with. I didn't see that. They don't really do 2s for Zelda. Yeah, that's kind of another reason, I guess. Anyways, that's kind of like... Those are my wild card hopes for next year. Later, JD cringed. Open for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, you poor baby. I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. Actually, that's probably exactly how you're supposed to do it. And I did it. How would you do an Odyssey 2? Easy, you just make the same game but with 10 new kingdoms. And I don't even mean that as a rip, like... It's not hard to... It would be difficult to fuck up an Odyssey 2, in my opinion. Like, the expectation is not high for an Odyssey sequel. People just want more fun kingdoms with the same mechanics. And all they have to do is come up with a couple of different kingdom mechanics. You know how there's, like, the squids on the Sand Kingdom or whatever? And, I don't know, any, like... Or the weird viney things that break the nuts in the Wooded Kingdom. You just have to come up with 10 more of those sort of mechanics, make 10 kingdoms, and release it. I gotta bust those bad boys. But how? Oh shit, there's spikes. I didn't see the spikes on top of them. They don't really do Zelda 2s, but I think we can thank Zelda 2 for that one. I think after the first Zelda 2, they kind of figured, this isn't the way. Narrowly avoided that. When he said that they don't do sequels, I think he meant more that they don't directly, like, make a X2. When they make a sequel, it's sort of like another game continuing. But it's like its own standalone. Like, it's not... Like, you know how Majora's Mask was mechanically different, even though it was essentially a sequel? Something like that. Like, if they made a Breath of the Wild 2, there would probably be a new big game mechanic. Maybe even masks. Dude, imagine if they made Breath of the Wild 2 and it was literally like with the addition of Majora's masks. I feel like, knowing Nintendo, they wouldn't do that. But honestly, you never know these days. These layouts also kind of remind me of Sonic Adventure. Just the way there's, like, floating platforms. Reminds me of the Tails levels. Laser beams and all. What are some cool game concepts? So, I think this one's obvious, but for the, like, I'm sure some of you are aware, there's this one guy that's developing a crossover of Doom and Tony Hawk. You essentially are riding on a skateboard with a shotgun. If you haven't, I'd go, like, look up on Twitter and find the one where, like, this guy made a, I guess you'd call it, what would you call it? A demo of him skateboarding on top of this giant, like, scorpion that's built so you can skateboard on top of it, because its legs are like ramps. He rolls up the ramps, jumps in the air, and starts shooting the weak spot on top of the Scorpion. I really hope he gets a full team assembled, because that shit would be amazing. A tech demo, yeah. I want to see more boss rush kind of games made. After Cuphead, I kind of like realized that I really like boss rush games. And I want to see more of that. They can have whatever they want for like, what would you call it? The shtick, the gimmick of the game. But I want like some at least boss rush modes. Fury, I know of Fury. I've been wanting to stream it, but I just like, I don't know, I haven't been able to pull the trigger. I didn't know enough about it, so I wasn't sure. Also, yeah, that 3D crab fighting game, which I don't know anything about because the creators are Japanese, so I don't know what any of the info is. But someone's making a game where you're giant crabs with knives and you fight in the city. That's up there. I just want to see cool, like, what do you call it? Gimmick games like that. People taking, like, a really specific gimmick and going all out with it. I like weird tests, you know? I feel like some of the best games coming out are things that just came from someone having a cool idea. Which I know that sounds like duh, but you have to realize, or you have to remember how much of the industry isn't that. How much of the industry is, we formulated the perfect RPG 6 years ago, so here's another sequel to that, with no real changes. I don't know where it wants me to go. Try speedrunning Cuphead for a New Year's stream. I tried speedrunning it on hard mode with an NES controller once on stream. It didn't work. What do you think about Shadows Die Twice? I'm looking forward to it. You know what? I totally blanked on that when someone asked games I'm looking forward to. Whenever I play Dark Souls, I always thought, I want to play this, but with more verticality. I want a Dark Souls game with verticality. And I know Shadows Die Twice isn't a Dark Souls game, but it's from the creators. I think they'll definitely take inspiration from it. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know that much, though. If there's been, like, a lot of gameplay released, I haven't seen it, so... Based on what I know, which is limited, I look forward to it. Excited for Cyberpunk? I'm not a big fan of the Cyberpunk aesthetic. I'm not, like, hating over it. But I've always been... I'm way less about sci-fi and a lot more about, like, medieval, honestly. Or even, like, Wild West. So, I'm keeping eyes on Cyberpunk, but I'm not keeping tabs, you know? That was cool. I've not heard of pathologic. Yeah, this is definitely a keyboard game. Usually I associate all third-person games with controller, but third-person games with guns is always keyboard. Pathologic is medieval, I'm assuming. I don't know anything about it. short level. That or I'm getting good. Favorite game company? Probably From Software. Number 1 From Software. 2 Platinum Games. 3.
To this place that makes it feel more tangible than any simulation or dream.
I used to have a third, but I think they lost it.
Were useless in the end.
Blizzard used to be up there for me, but they lost their spot.
I'm being bitter now. It's not gonna
Valve used to be up there, but
stay optimistic. Keep an open mind.
you know. But yeah, From Software is definitely my number 1. I guess Gears for Breakfast, the guys that made Hat in Time. They've only made 1 game so far, but that game was one of my games of the year, so I'd say them. I look forward to anything they do. Favorite video game story? I don't know. There's never really been a story that, like, I kept close to my heart, you know? There have definitely been games that I kept close to my heart. But nothing that particularly stands out. I was pretty invested in Nier Automata, but that was kind of just for the memes, story-wise. Once it showed me a bunch of robots fucking, I immediately knew that would be in my top 3 game stories.
When are you going to sell out and make a grilled cheese choke in your next major video?
I'm pretty sure I already have. I can't remember where, but I remember making an Elmer Fudd joke in some main channel video. It's hidden somewhere. So I don't need to do it again. Also, thanks. Is Nier Automata good? I feel like there's people who love it, but everyone else says it sucks. I think if you're into games like Metal Gear, specifically Metal Gear Rising, or if you even know what Metal Gear Rising is like, it's very comparable to that, and I had a lot of fun. I would say my number 1 complaint with Nier isn't the game, it's that it has a very open world design, but it doesn't utilize it well. The game is primarily linear, sorry, but it's built as if it's a open world, but there's really not that much point to exploring other than, like, Easter eggs and, you know, extra content. But I'd say if you can enjoy a linear RPG game, then it's a lot of fun. The boss fights are cool, and I'm not trying to overhype it, because I know I have a high opinion of it, so I'm trying to be, like, objective about this. I think it does good for its genre. It's not the best. It doesn't blow it out the water. But it provides a fun experience. Plus, you know, if you like looking at female ligaments, Yoko Taro has you covered. If you're the kind of person that would turn your camera upwards while climbing a ladder in that game, then I'm not saying that's a selling point. I'm just saying if you're one of those people, you know, the game has you covered. That's all I'm saying. Have you thought of Nidhogg as a third-person medieval fighter? I know about Nidhogg, but I've never played it. Definitely one of those games that's best with friends. And I'm not really a social gamer. Favorite Platinum combat system? Oh, definitely Legend of Korra. Do you mean like per game or just like favorite system within a game? Because I like the swordplay in Nier Automata. I don't like this. I guess you'd call it the ship combat in Nier, which I guess was it kind of reminded me of like Galaga or Galactica, whichever one is the arcade shooting game. I'm not as big of a fan of that, though I did play a lot of the arcade game back in the day. I just like the swordplay. Not familiar with shoegaze. Any games you were excited for but were disappointed by when they came out? The game Rime, I was disappointed by. It's just like an indie platforming game that was really generic and boring. Nothing else like comes to mind. Fuck. Got close to. It's indie Mirror's Edge. That's pretty much what this is. It's a parkour platformer.
There is life here. Vines cling to the ruins and grass grows among the
See,
rubble.
I love like
Both life and
open
death.
world
Old
puzzle
and
games.
new.
I love the
Is this a
concept
sign
of
that I'm
Rime,
healing? Is
where
my
you
body
kind of just
finding a
travel
way to
around this
become
big
whole
island,
again?
doing
I don't
puzzles,
know.
slowly
Maybe it's
like
trying to prove to me that the
cracking
living
away
need
at
to
a
find way to
larger
live
puzzle,
among the
but
remnants of the dead. Either way
the
is fine
story
with
was
me.
lukewarm. The puzzles, once you did it once, you knew fucking every puzzle. Visually, it was pretty generic when you compare it to a lot of indie platformers. There was nothing that sold that game. I played The Witness, and I kind of felt similarly to that as I did Rime. Witness definitely had more of a personality. That game is like, you have these little boards and you complete line puzzles on them. But the line puzzles are based on the environment, so you have to like look at trees. Just for people that don't know what it is. Someone made like a big video where it's like, it's both a good game and a bad game. And I like that YouTube video. It's like an hour long, I think. But they basically summarize that the game is fun, but a lot of it is just like, I don't know. It wears thin after a while, but the concept is really cool. Joseph Anderson did that. Well, I give it a recommendation. My opinion of the game was like, I like puzzles. I like the line puzzle thing. But it got a little like boring after a while. Like I could easily have played more of it if they had done something to keep my attention a bit more. Plus some of those puzzles were just like dumb. Favorite indie game overall? I would say Hat in Time. Because I'm not even gonna use the word nostalgic. One of my favorite types of games is the third-person platformer, as you can tell from this stream. And Hat in Time hits nearly every mark of that for me. Celeste is a close second. That's a 2D platforming game, but not only is it like one of my favorite video game soundtracks, it's also probably my favorite 2D platform, excluding Hat in Time, since that's 3D. I think Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon is probably one of my favorite indie games too. If you are familiar with Castlevania, specifically Castlevania 3, it's very reminiscent of that. I'm not too familiar with Castlevania, but playing Bloodstained sold me on the Metroidvania genre, which I wasn't that familiar with previously. Thanks, CF Proxy. Also, obviously, honorable mention for Cuphead. As I said earlier, I've become a huge fan of boss rush games, and that's the game that made me feel that way. I've not played any Yakuza games, but it definitely seems like a game that'd be up my alley. Just never really got around to it. Okay, I played Hollow Knight, and here's the thing. I think Hollow Knight is an amazing game. Definitely, like, sets a bar of quality. However, when I played it, I'm aware that some of the DLC kind of fixed this, but when I played it, there was no sense of direction. You had to figure out what to do and remember it. And if you stopped playing the game for more than 2 days, then you were sort of shit out of luck in a lot of regards. You kind of just had to figure out what you were doing last. And there were ways to figure out, like, what's open. And there were, like, obviously, like, if you look at the map and it was translucent or whatever. But for the most part, you would end up, if you got lost, it was just a game of wandering around. And that lost me on the game. I could not complete it because I stopped playing for a few days, came back, spent hours trying to find what I was doing, and by the time I figured it out, I was, you know, frustrated, tired, and I just put the game down. Now, as far as I'm aware, DLC came out so you can mark your map, and I'm sure there's probably some stuff that I just didn't know about, but my experience with the game was limited. Because while I enjoyed it mechanically, a lot of the pacing elements were lackluster.
My friends might be dead.
And if they fix that, then maybe one day I'll pick it up and try again. I certainly want to.
I've fled that pain before.
I'm referring to Hollow Knight right now.
Had I allowed myself to
DLC doesn't really fix the issue, it's still a lot of wandering.
I mustn't make that same mistake.
Well, then there's the root of the problem, really. Again, great game. Fantastic game, but it's the lack of direction it's limiting, I feel. There's literally a charm that shows you at the beginning of the game which reveals your position. I was not aware of that. I feel like the fact that I couldn't find that even after hours of searching and Googling makes me think that it's not as much of a solution as I'm asking for. But if it has at least something more than what I'm aware of, then credit where credit's due. I had the map, yeah. I'm pretty sure I had that charm too. I had track of every area. It's just knowing what area I need to, like, where to go, essentially. I knew where I could go, I just didn't know where I should go. You know what I mean? How do you decide which stream goes on the second channel? It's just whatever I feel deserves highlights. Generally, it's the full game playthroughs, I guess. Like, usually I don't upload highlights until I've completed a game, so that I don't have to make multiple videos. I can't break that. I don't like making multiple videos of one game, so pretty much any game I complete. But something like this, where there's not that much, like, story, it's kind of just the platforming. You know, I only do highlights if, you know, if I tell us another snail story. Which, by the way, this definitely is far from one of my craziest streams, but I just wanted to explain it to you guys because it had me a bit worried about my psychological well-being. So I dreamed that I was in a setting similar to Resident Evil 7, you know, where you're on like a farm with the evil family, but the family was the family from Family Guy. Like Lois and Peter and like all of them. It was Resident Evil 7, but with all of them. And I wouldn't call it a nightmare, because I wasn't like panicking in the dream. I was pretty indifferent. But like there was a lot of creepy, like scary stuff. Like, you know how Jack and the Incredibles can just burst into flames? Yeah, all of the Family Guy people would just randomly do that throughout my dream. They would just burst into flames like it was nothing. At the end of the dream, they started bullying me and Stewie. Like, they would, like, kick us. They would throw us on the ground and start kicking us. And the ending of the dream was them throwing us into a pit. And me and Stewie made a suicide pact where we ripped off our hair and choked ourselves to death with it. And right as I choked myself to death, I woke up. And that was my dream. Are you okay? Sometimes I think therapy would help, but I've had worse. It's pretty standard for my dreams, I'm not gonna lie. That's not even like a recent thing. I've just always had vivid dreams. I did not like this section. Oh, I just went backwards, dummy. And I didn't even read any Junji Ito this time. I came up with all that on my own. Although, I guess I probably took a lot of liberties from Resident Evil 7, now that I think about it. It is very similar to that. The dream was basically like a game. Almost made it. Know that we love your Justin. Means a lot, guys. He's lying. Why did you even clarify that? Just let me have this. Sure, sex is cool, but have you ever gotten your stuff back after dying in old school RuneScape? I'm sorry, are you implying I've ever died in old school RuneScape? You fucking mobile player?
Well, no one said it would be easy.
I never remember my dreams. I'm sad. Keep a diary. Or, I don't really keep a diary. I kind of have a decent enough memory I can remember them. But the most important thing is, like, right after you wake up, you say, like, I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna remember this. Technically, like, you'll still end up forgetting. I don't know. Maybe I'm an exception to that. Writing down your thoughts definitely helps. But if you do that enough, then you kind of make a good habit of it. It's kind of what I did. Dude, I want an entire level of just that stuff. I don't know why it is, but I've always just been a sucker for, like, ramp, like, surfing, kind of. Why hasn't there ever been, like a crossover of a snowboarding game and a platforming game? Does that exist? And don't be like, what about steep funk? No, that's just a snowboarding game. I'm talking like Psychonauts X Snow kind of game. I'm patenting that. Sean White snowboarding, but that game was awful. Well, let's fix that. Make a new one. There's that one part in FF7. Give up on the FF7, guys. But, like, think about it. There's that snowboarding level in Sonic Adventure. And I guess Sonic Adventure 2 as well. There's that ramp part in the Lara Croft Shadow of the Tomb Raider game. And there's, like, the ramps on this. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want a standalone game for. So any ice level but 3D. I mean, if you want to look at it that way. Wasn't really my idea. Yes, I'm allowed to bring up Sonic Adventure 2. What's your favorite Minecraft memory? It's not exciting, but I've held on to this memory. The first complex thing I ever built was one of those old school wheat collectors, where it's like you flip a lever and water flows down and breaks all of them. And I felt like a fucking genius after I made that. And that's like one of my most cherished Minecraft memories. Also, last season, when I was mining and someone came up to me dressed as Sans and jumped in lava and killed themselves. And then Megalovania played on my song request seconds later. That's up there in my favorite memories. Fuck. I'm doing Demon Slayer and Ultra RuneScape. It's taking all of my power to save the bones I need for Wizard's Key and not use them for XP. Just buy them, bro. Just spin flax for an hour. I'll always see people in the GE complaining like, can anyone give me 50k, please? I need it for a quest. And I always just say, dude, spin flax for fucking 3 minutes. You will have the money you need. It's so easy. If you have enough money, there's shit you can do without even leaving the GE. I'll literally just like alch stuff in the GE for money.
I have a feeling
Ones that make profit at least.
But I'm not
Gets me magic XP and money.
I never was. Maybe that's one reason why I ended up here.
These fucking millennial RuneScape players asking for handouts. Earn it.
I've seen veterans go through that process.
Earn it, bro.
And I've admired their perseverance. Can I find that same strength?
I have 30 bucks on Steam. What do you recommend? Artifact! It's a good question. I think Hat in Time's 30 bucks. Easy nav for me. I mean, honestly, any of the indie games I talked about 20 minutes ago if you were here. Celeste, Hat in Time, Cuphead. Any of them are worth your money. Though honestly, if you have a Switch, I would recommend getting any of those games on Switch instead. If only because the control scheme works well with them. Marble It Up, I think is like 20 bucks. And it's a good game. I don't know if Nier Automata's on sale, but if that's on sale for 30, get it. I was trying to see if there's any, like, hidden content. My bad. Can't remember if this is one of the levels I did or I died on. I don't think I've finished this one. For good reason. What's the indie game you said was Castlevania 3? Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. It's similar to Castlevania 3 because I believe they both have like would you call it a party mechanic? Like you have different characters, but one. But Bloodstained, very good game. Interestingly, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is actually just like extra content. It's not the actual Bloodstained game. It's sort of like a prequel to the actual one, which is still in development. I've played a bit of the demo for it because I backed them on, what is it, Kickstarter. So I got access to that. It's not bad, though honestly, I kind of prefer the prequel so far because the actual Bloodstained game is, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like a modern kind of Metroidvania game. And I'm a bit more into the old school versions. But it's not out yet. I'm sure it'll be fun when it's fully out. She isn't my girlfriend. You're missing out.
I hate being monitored,
If
but
I
I would
think
welcome
I don't know what
that
the
now.
conversation
Anyone
was.
surveilling
Thank
me
you.
is free to contact me at any time. Just putting it out there. I'm getting better and better at using my artificial body.
I'm gonna see if I can turn up the
turns out to be half as good when I wake up.
sound
I'd be
notifications.
impressed. It's almost too
Can't.
good. There must be a catch.
This is just turn them down too much. Oh well. Do you think hard games are fun? I don't think a game being hard means it's inherently fun. I think a game that is fairly difficult is more fun than a game that is overtly easy. A game like Dark Souls, for example, is not difficult. It is it's like a Simon Says. If you don't pay attention to what the Simon Says does, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you pay attention, then you can, you can do the long Simon Says. I think that's a bad comparison. Dark Souls is a game of memorization, and I think that's why people like it, because it's fair about its difficulty. Yeah, it's hard, but if you slow down and pay attention, it's easy. The game is more about exploration than it is, like, pulling off crazy shit. Which, by the way, I know these doors. I'm just looking around to see if there's, like, any items. But I don't think there is. So, I don't know. I like a balance. So, to put into perspective, Hat in Time's DLC was very catered towards speedrunners. It was a lot of existing levels, or maybe like the same level with a different layout, but you had to do it under a certain amount of time. I didn't have fun with that because the difficulty was, I don't know. Difficulty wasn't, it didn't feel rewarding when you did it. Whenever you finished, you were like, fucking finally. It should have been like, ooh, I figured it out. There's no way to, like, say there's like a level where you have to like finish the level in 1 minute, for example. It doesn't give you any way to figure out how to do that level in a minute. You just have to keep playing it over and over till you find a route that does it in 1 minute. And I don't find that kind of difficulty fun. I think the Octo DLC was a decent spectrum of both good and bad difficulty. There were some Octo levels, this is Splatoon 2 I'm talking about, by the way. There were some Octo levels where I'm like, whew, I did it, and I'm proud of myself. And then there are others where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking murder all of Nintendo! Reggie! Specifically those ones with all the girls trying to burst the bubble or whatever. I didn't like those, but I liked like the 8-ball levels and stuff. But Hat in Time, it didn't have a spectrum of difficulty. It just had like, fucking here's shit that 0.5% of our player base will ever figure out how to do. And that's the issue. It's not stuff a normal person would ever conclude. Because a lot of the difficulty in the DLC relies on you already knowing a lot of tricks that you only would figure out if you, like, go on r/Hat in Time speedruns. Which I don't even think is a real thing. So you don't even have that to help you out. But a lot of the DLC was that. It was like, I don't fucking know how I'm supposed to do this. Don't ask me. How difficult would you say DMC3 is? I wouldn't say it was difficult. I would say it occasionally had a bad sense of direction, but it's not like you would end up going across the map. At worst, you just go back and forth through doors for like 10 minutes. The game itself, I could beat like every boss in every area with at most 3 tries in DMC3. It was never... There were definitely some levels where I was like annoyed, but overall the game... Like throughout that playthrough, I had a lot of people complaining. They're like, Get ready for this part. But those are usually the parts that I finished in like 2 tries. That's the problem with the new Hollow Knight DLC, I reckon. I never finished Hollow Knight because of the reasons I explained earlier. But again, I think it's a good game. It just has limitations. The problem... Oh god. I've run out. Yeah, I was definitely on Virgil for a while. But to be fair, Virgil's the final fight of the game, so I wouldn't take that away. Like, it's the final boss, obviously gonna be there a while. Yeah, I might have been there a little too long for comfort, but nothing that ruins the game for me, you know? It's these fucking obstacles. I'm getting Octo DLC vibes from this fucking level. Literally, I think there's one just like it. There's not even a checkpoint. If I die, I have to do this all again. No. No. I didn't mind the ball levels, the DLC. I thought those were some of the more tame ones. I didn't like the line levels, though. The ones where you have to ride on a line. Those were all memorization. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but... I can't make my own checkpoints. Streamer neglected his abilities. This is a thing I don't like in games. Not that it's hard, but that if you run out, you just have to, like, run back to it. Just give me an option to start from the beginning of the level again. If you're gonna punish me, don't make me fucking walk all the way back to it. I'm gonna do the same thing either way.
This is 1980. Can't you afford a fucking haircut?
A reverse trap scale.
I don't know, am I? You tell me. Don't answer it. Schrodinger's trap. It is both gay and not gay until you see the penis. Maybe I should wait. There we go. First key I've gotten. What if it's a flat chest? What if you got banned from my chat? What's your answer to that? What? I should have made a checkpoint! I knew I was gonna run out, so I was trying to conserve. So that jump right there. Favorite anime character? Edward Elric. I think Edward Elric is one of the best written anime characters of all time. He's not like your typical... there's a video on this, I believe, which is pretty good. but he's not your typical shonen protagonist. He's not like Midoriya, where it's like, I'm not scared of dying. My body moved first. Edward Elric is like, if he thinks he's gonna die, he starts fucking crying and panicking. He's like a real person. For those who don't know, Edward Elric is the short blonde dude from Full Metal Alchemist in the big red coat. He has arcs, you know. He develops as a character, and he's never just this overly confident, cocky dude. Though he's certainly cocky, he knows his limitations, and when he's faced with a threat, he genuinely feels fear. I mean, you could say that about, like, a lot of the characters in FMA, but him specifically as a protagonist, like, Barf said, I didn't make a checkpoint! Checkpoint, 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 check! Ah, fuck! I think I got a default checkpoint, so we're alright. Howdy. I think you're a well-written protagonist. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my redemption arc, though. I am not a furry. No. But you're free to enjoy what you want. I've had multiple people tell me I'm the type, and I'm not sure how to feel about that, but no. Edward and Alphonse was the best character dynamic since everything about the dynamic is true for brothers. Yeah.
To see more clearly what lies ahead.
Like, they are genuine characters. They, you know, they have conflicts, but it's like brotherly conflicts. I mean, I could go on all day about everything that show does right, but it's not really necessary. My point is, that's probably one of my favorite characters. I've seen the Scott Pilgrim live action, but not actually any of the original stuff. Have I been here? I feel like I have a hard time knowing what I have and haven't done. I think the green means I've already done it. So yellow I haven't. Jonathan Joestar? Jonathan was a weakly written character. And you want to talk about Johnny Joestar, it's a different story. But I won't get into it. I think Johnny has risen up to my favorite JoJo, honestly. Early on it was Joseph, then I kind of opened up to Giorno. And I still have a soft spot for Jolene, but Johnny, I think it takes the #1 spot for me. But I won't spoil anything. Yeah, I love the Scott Pilgrim movie, but I've never read the comics or anything. Oh, I thought I was supposed to go somewhere else. Jonathan did have a character flaw. His pecs are so big that he can't fit through doors. He has to go through them sideways. Is that not a character flaw? Did it again. I read Colored Adventure. JoJo is not a manga you can read in black and white. You have to have color to understand what the fuck is happening, and even then, half of the time you're still not gonna understand it. I can't do this. You have to understand, Jonathan Joestar was written in like fucking 1978. At that point, there were like, the only reference he had was Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. Had a brain lapse. Every anime character at that point was just generic hero who can do no wrong. I don't think I need to use all my boosts, but I don't have an opportunity to try it again now. What's your favorite meme? Was Steam Tams this year or last year? I honestly can't remember. It's been a long year. That was this year? Alright, that. Easy answer. Steam Tams. I think it was right on the edge of last year, in the beginning of this year. So it's kind of like both. Like it bled into the new year. What's the most generic anime you've seen? I don't know if I'd count it as anime, but I read Fruits Baskets in middle school, and it's a romance, and it's a romance novel where I think they can turn into animals, and they have same face syndrome. And novel 8 had titties in it, and I wasn't allowed to check it out till I was in 7th grade, and that's why I remember it, because I waited all 6th grade to check out that novel, the one with the anime titties, but they wouldn't let me for another year. That was a pretty generic Japanese cartoon. What's your favorite Steam Tams meme? It's a good question. I like the one... This is a relatively recent one, too. Not super recent, but it's Steam Tams, but Skinner, or not Skinner. Chalmers is way more, like, suspectful than usual. Someone edited it, so Vice Principal... He just keeps asking questions. And when he's about to, like, leave the room, he comes back in. I also like the VR one, the 360 degrees. There's a lot to pick from. I still like Weezer, but they are not my favorite band. I have a love-hate relationship, you know? Whoa! Way too much use. That's not what I was trying to do. But you know what? I'll take it. You guys think I can do it? I'm doing it anyways. Not seen The Exorcist. Fuck. Yeah, I saw the multi-animator project. I mean, half of them are really good. A couple of them were kind of just contributing. But definitely a great video. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I did. movement in this game seems fun. Yeah, it's actually really competent, I'd say. Competent is a good word. Like, more than confident, really. It's good. Oh, I didn't get the right keys. I got one of them. The movement in this is fun. It's quick. It's, a lot of movement, I guess, for lack of a better term. I don't know. It doesn't, it's not limited.
Things differently can really open
I mean, it has
your eyes.
limitations, but it's
You can
not, like,
correct your mistakes,
noticeable.
Be more efficient.
Like, you
That's
get
how this
exactly
world
how much you
works.
need.
And there were countless times that
Favorite
I wished
Junji
life
Ito
worked that
story?
way as well. But I guess it's
I don't
not
remember the
healthy
name,
dwelling on the past in
but
the
it's
long
the
run.
short story
It's better
where
that I use the knowledge
this
I
guy
gained to
keeps
push
having
myself
these
further
dreams,
take on new
and every night
challenges.
the dreams are longer until, like, he is perceiving these dreams as, like, years. And then, you know, they go from days to weeks to months. And he's, like, scared of going to sleep. And his body starts aging the amount of time that he perceives he's sleeping for. So if he feels like he's sleeping for 10 years, his body ages 10 years. It's a short story, but it's like a really cool concept. Uzumaki is a great one, especially because it's like really long, as opposed to a lot of Junji Ito, which is super short. But I would say the Dream one is probably one of my favorites. There's another one I really like about... There's like a... my details may be hazy, but this brother and sister grow up with this dad that is addicted to marionettes and puppetry. And, like, one of the siblings grows... I don't even know where to start explaining this. One of them grows up and decides to become a marionette. He hires people to just attach strings to him and puppeteer him throughout his house every day. He never has to use his own body because he pays people to do it. And it's about one of his siblings that like he'll like keep visiting, and he's like, oh shit, it's getting worse. And his brother keeps trying to convince him, like, join us, you'll love being a puppet. It's creepy. Yeah, every Junji Ito story is a fever dream. Words cannot do them justice. Mainly because there's so much, like, imagery in the drawings. That's super creepy. Yeah, it's Junji Ito. All of his stories are super creepy. That's why I like them. I already am a puppet. You guys are my puppeteer. I've been a puppet since I joined Twitch. I've been a puppet since I was a YouTuber. It's not that bad. I thought I could stand on that geometry, but I guess I was wrong. It's okay. Why wouldn't you put a rock that you can't stand on there? Junji Ito is a Japanese mangaka. He makes manga. And they're very Lovecraftian. Very horror focused. Spider-Verse is it's probably my favorite movie of the year. Maybe behind Isle of Dogs. If only just a little bit, but they're close. Oh, God, I saved it. I did not say manga cock. Common misconception. I haven't really had any problems with the movement of this game. Even, like, the games I like, there's usually something that's, like, fidgety about the movement, but everything's been responsive. Kudos. I've not seen the 3D Netflix show by the Avatar guys, but I know what you're referring to. I've seen, like, the trailers and stuff.
There are no enemies here. I wonder if it's a way of telling me something. It's one less
Which book has the aging stories?
What's the implication? I
don't know, I can go- hold
but
on.
It makes me reflect
I think it's
on
called, like,
things
Shivers.
differently. I'm not
The
sure this
collection.
path can actually lead me out of here, but at the same time, I feel that it might hold the key to something.
I just looked at
There
my
is
bookshelf.
something
It's
to be
called
gained
Shiver.
from this. I'm sure
It's
of
in
it.
there. I don't know what the name of the actual book is, though. So there's a setting in the game which I didn't touch, but apparently it changes the buffering on the air dash. I'm gonna try it with that off. Because it might actually make it even more responsive. Can't really notice a difference. I think it's actually a little bit more responsive now. Yeah, feels better. Less input lag. Still messed up though. And I haven't really been using the right click at all. They haven't given me any blue gates to destroy. I guess that's only through one doorway. So it hasn't been relevant here. Bad timing to jump, right? I do not like this level. Never played Xenoblade. I like Shulk and Smash! There is so much bloom. This is how it feels like when I go outside without my glasses. Just everything is super overexposed. Ooh, I got him. I don't know where they're coming from. I like the platforming levels better than the enemy rush levels. It's just fucking Super Meat Boy now. It's just Super Meat Boy 3D. I'm gonna stream for like 2 hours now. Ah. That's the wrong side. Oh, you motherfuckers! I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't want to jump and fuck it up. Is this the last stream of 2018? I don't know. I haven't really planned ahead like that. I'll probably stream again. Oh god! I'm gonna try a different level. Not a big fan of that one. Try the easy level. Well, honestly, if the levels keep going the way these ones are, I may just do a couple more. Because I'm not in the mood to trial and error some of these levels all night. It won't recharge. Wait, can I is this allowed? Am I allowed to hold on to it and get all my charge back? It feels like cheating. Not that I'm complaining. I don't think I was supposed to do that. Oh fuck, I think I accidentally just... I gotta say, I don't think the footage of this game properly reflects it. Like, I wasn't even sure about streaming this because when I was looking at like some gameplay in the store page, I was still a little iffy. But it definitely shines when you start playing it. Like, it's easiest to appreciate good movement when you're the one controlling it. So just watching it doesn't really reflect that well. I've had some recommendations to play Xenoblade 2, but it's more about just getting around to do it than it is, like, being against it. Gotta do it one day. Okay. Oh, I thought it was one of those, like, puzzles you can, like, circle around. Not even sure if this is the right way, but I think it is. I still don't really understand this menu. I haven't noticed a need to get anything. Also, I don't know how to do this. That should work though. Never mind. Very rude of you. Very rude of you to shoot me. I've also heard a lot of complaints about this game just because people don't like how much she narrates. Like, I've mostly been ignoring it, but every time I leave a stage, this broad gives at least... I don't use the word broad lightly, but she gives at least 6 sentences of exposition every time I leave a level. So many questions unanswered. Where will we find them? Only time will tell. It starts to get redundant after a while. I have no charge. I feel like the character almost has a magnet for ledges. Shit. I mean, I know the game is designed specifically to grab ledges, but if you stand too close to them, it almost gets annoying. I keep instinctively hitting R to reload, but the R button teleports you to your spawn point. That's a bad habit. Oh, I can't even make any checkpoint either. As far as I know, there's not a anti-ledge button. Also, the camera's not too jittery. If anything, it might be because I have, like, I don't know, something about the sensitivity, but I've not had an issue with the camera. It's actually been pretty, what's the word, responsive. Oh, there's a shortcut I missed. Holding control prevents ledge grabs.
This new
I have
body
to
is strange.
keep that one in mind.
I've seen veterans who've gone through repairs like this, and although they've lived decent lives, it's nothing like in this dream at all. It's curious.
Remember what I said about
vague
6
sense of
sentences of
though
exposition?
it still puzzles me.
Here, listen
the
up.
challenges I face here must have a purpose, a meaning. So far, they've given me something to focus on, letting me leave my broken body behind for a while, pushing me to go further.
Oh, you're done? Oh, okay. I like these visuals a lot more than the metal robot ones, like these. I wish they would use the grass more. That's the first time I've actually been hit by one of those. Would it be surprising for you to hear I haven't made a single joke about the sentry gun this entire game? You figured it'd be obvious. But I haven't made a single one, and I don't even count mentioning that. I still haven't. I don't even think I need to destroy these, but it makes me happy. Alright, I'll buy it. I'm curious. What's over here? This is a way better, like, or a way cooler aesthetic than just the metal plates. The metal plates are probably easier to make, though, since they're all flat, so they go together like pieces, whereas those are islands and they need some extra work to look good. What's the purpose of this game? What's the purpose of any game, man? To distract us from the pain that is life? The purpose of the game is to have fun platforming. And I'd say it does that much. That's honestly, no offense to you, one of the most annoying things I hear from people. What's this game's purpose? What's the point of it? Like, it's a fucking video game. I don't feel like it needs a higher purpose than to entertain. Yeah, but what's its meaning? What does it do for me? I think you gotta answer that one on your own, brother. I wanted to know the plot. I'm sure that's what he meant. I just meant, like, as a general statement, it's a really, like, poor way of wording. I mean, truth be told, I haven't been keeping up with the story much either. I'm not that aware of what it is. I've mostly just been paying attention to the gameplay. Which honestly I appreciate. I like a game that has a story, but it doesn't like force you to pay attention to it. Like, you can just enjoy the game. It almost provides a reason to replay it. Because this is totally the kind of game I'd finish and be like, I don't know what that was about. I'll play it again and pay attention this time.
Although I can't see where I'm heading, there's no doubt I'm making progress. It strikes me that this is something that I've been missing for quite a while. Clear
According to
goals
all
and the way
known
to
laws
achieve
of
them.
aviation.
I remember how hopeless I felt when that sudden blast ripped through our squad. It was devastating. The realization that this was it. We couldn't possibly win. Our fate was out of our hands. I hope I never have to experience anything like that again.
Want to let her finish talking. It's pretty important stuff. You figure, I almost feel like they take themselves too seriously on this writing. I have not heard a single quip. It's like like they've done the exact opposite of what every game does, where they have a bunch of snarky quips in between every exposition. This game takes itself 100% seriously. It's almost kind of refreshing, but I don't know, you get bored of it. Of the dialogue, that is. Is this Nier Automata without a budget? I don't feel like Nier Automata was nearly this platform-oriented. Nier was like 50% platform, 50% fighting. This is like 70% platform. Not even, like 90. The fighting is like barely relevant. Like, the enemies are at worst obstacles. They're not even enemies. It's like destroying a barrel that's in your way. These aren't really enemies, they're just another prop. Quite the scream, Isabel. Oh, Tachanka in the house, eh? Fine with me. Oh shit, that was quick. It doesn't even count as a turret joke. It's a Six Siege reference. It only counts if it's from Valve.
Sometimes. But if I'm
or
to
Blizzard.
figure out where I'm going, maybe I have to look back. I've always had a strong conviction. I believe
I
in
just got an
fighting for
email.
What's right. What's right
Permission
is
to
not
use your
easy,
lunchbox
and what's
mixtape
easy
for
is
a
not always
mod.
right. You have to ask who decides what's
I know
right.
some people some people
Only
are about
I
their
can decide
songs, so
what's
they're
right
not
for me
legally
now.
protected. I want to be
And maybe
sure.
I've left that
Can I
decision
make
to
a
others too
TF2
often in
mod
the past.
of the lunchbox mixtape? All right, I'm gonna give him the yeah, go for it, bro. There, I've given him permission to use the, and then copyright strike him. He's gonna use demonetize, and then I'll fucking strike his ass. Fool doesn't know what's about to hit him. Demonetize him for using the demonetized song. I could do it. I've had my videos hit by people that made covers that I used. And I asked them before too. I asked them for credit and they're like, yeah, and then they struck me. And I had to like tell them, dude, I already got permission from you. They're like, oh shit, sorry. Why you no finish Wind Waker? My capture card was fucking up, and apparently Windows at the time had updated with something that broke capture. I fixed it now, but I just haven't picked it up again. Technically, I'm overdue for picking it up again. Fuck. Thanks, October. See, I have to recharge. Oh, that's one way to do it? I feel like that's cheating, but no complaints here. Oh. Alright. Oh, yeah, I'll definitely stream Xenoblade whenever I pick it up. More of a matter of when. No Skylanders. No. think I'm shy one more key. Fuck. Alright, we're good, we're good. I was trying to cheese it. Toontown stream win? Cartoon Network Fusion Drive? Fusion Fall stream win? Oh. Lord. I enjoyed the Wind Waker VOD on YouTube. If you finished it, I'd say you have the right to put it back as your avatar. I'm good. Made the executive order on that one. Also, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised people like the Wind Waker VOD. I felt like chat was pretty much dead when I played Wind Waker, so there were a couple of times where I was just sort of... I just felt like I was dead silent for a while. But I definitely still want to finish it. Ha! Yeah, watching a speedrun of this would be so dope. Whoa. This is new. Missed the key. Good news, I get another chance at the key. Is there a reason Toon Link has a restraining order? He was ruining my career, and he wouldn't go away, so I had to take it into the law's arms. I've seen Get Out. I was trying to read chat. Bad idea. Yeah. Get Out is very good. Very unique. Very thriller. I'm a big fan of thriller kind of movies. Thrillers and mysteries. So it's kind of right up my alley. Thought it's because he stole all the beers. I'm surprised anyone remembered that. It's like a really, like, specific thing. On one of the old Funk TVs, I had, like, a please stand by, and it was a Toon Link stealing a bunch of beer. Good on you. Shit. I should have grabbed that last one. I should have grabbed the last one! I can't hit it. Gotta play it safe. I'm on the last leg here. Oh, come on! Hello, I'd like to order 1 lobotomy. No refund needed. Just the one will do. Jordan Peele released a trailer for his next film called Us. Do you know if it's in the same vein as Get Out? Or another, like, psychological thriller? Because I'd be happy with that. I mean, I'll check out anything he does, honestly. Like his stuff. It is? Oh, nice. Is it, like, directly connected to Get Out, or is it its own thing? Because the name makes me think it's sort of, like, loosely connected, but I haven't seen the trailer. Own thing, but similar. Alright. That's fine with me. If anything, that's probably preferable. I thought Get Out had a good conclusion. Didn't really need a follow-up. Try cheesing my way through. I like that about this game. You don't have to go a specific way. It gives you a lot of options. And they aren't like the fake kind of options where they don't really go anywhere. Like, they all progress you without going to the same exact spot. Like, some actually give you more of a shortcut. Okay, I'm about back to where I died from, which is good. Because I didn't want to do all that again. Got it. Whew. All right. So far, so good. Holy shit! That was fucking brutal. Wanna try that one again? If you get zapped, you lose all your charge. Done it. New keys, though. I never got to play Smash 4 on Wii U because I didn't have Wii U. Though I did have the 3DS version, but it's hard to compare Smash 5 to the 3DS version since it's a 3DS. But I would definitely say Ultimate is good competition for my favorite Smash game. I think nostalgia will always keep Melee up there, but like Ultimate, you know, it delivers what it promises. It is the ultimate Smash game.
have to find what is right for me.
Alright, I think this might be the last level for me. So I can go eat yogurt. And that'll be my whole dinner. I've not played the Bayonetta games, but I didn't realize that was by Platinum until someone told me. And now I'm kind of looking for an opportunity. Fun. I've played games with similar platforming, and most of the time it's really frustrating. But with this game, good. But I think another problem is a lot of these games usually make it very trial and error-y, where it's like you're gonna die climbing and you have to climb it 3 times until you finally get it. But with this game, you can tank a couple of hits before you have to pay for your mistake. And that's kind of the deciding factor. Like, for instance, I had a chance to leave that, but I chose to stay there. So I was rightfully punished. At least I had an opportunity to stop. Not there, though. Ah, shit, we got a hack and slash mode now. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna try and ignore the enemies. Never mind. Oh, I didn't even know about this. I got a problem, I'm scratching my nose. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the bullet hell sections of this game, but I think I can pull it off. No! Ah, almost had it. Oh, fuck. Fuck, I can't believe I've done this. If you're struggling to get past an area, why not try deploying a checkpoint? How about you get off my fucking back? I'm a gamer, alright? I don't need fucking Perlin Marina to pay for the level to get beaten for me. The checkpoint would save me like 0.2 seconds on. I can't put a checkpoint halfway through this. Because it's all on the side. The best I can do is this. And now I don't have enough for another checkpoint. But whatever. Why is here? I can't answer that, man. Why are you? Whoop, indeed. It's all about the timing of that first one. I could just be less impatient and stop rushing, but Just jump. Ah. And this is why this is my last level, because once you get halfway through the game, this is all it fucking is. Too fast! If I don't make this one, I'm just trying the other way. Is that fucking one right there? I can't restart anymore. Maybe I should have just not tried again. Why would you make a game so clearly catered towards trial and error and then give me a fucking limit of how many times I can try before restarting? Why can't I just pay 800 octo points to beat the level? Nintendo would let me do that. I don't even think I was that far in the level, so... But I am concerned that I don't recognize any of this. Oh shit. It's backwards. No. Why this shit, our furnace is always away from anvils. I'm pretty sure that's an intentional design, that way you can't just get 99 in both quickly. I don't know if you wanted an actual answer, but that's your answer. It's so that you have to train both of them separately. But if you get your magic up, I believe you can just smelt it with magic. And then use the anvil. I think the blast furnace actually does both. I'm not sure. I think the blast furnace... I got it wrong. This is the weirdest person in chat. Whoever was the first person to song request the grilled cheese thing. I still have a grudge against them, even more so because I don't know who it was, so I can't punish them for it. But I've kind of gotten over it. Jesus. Can't even make my own checkpoint. Probably the guy that asked if I was willing to throw a LAN party at my parents' house and invite subscribers. Whoever that was. As you can tell, I'm starting to get impatient with this. Hey, I'm back. Why didn't you grab it? I figured it out. It wasn't that hard. It's hard if you do it the way it wants you to. But I ain't about that shit. That was close. Way too close. The whole gameplay mechanic is outdated, and games shouldn't have it.
I don't really know what awaits me when I do.
Wait for VR, bro.
Take it as it comes.
Won't have to press buttons anymore. It's plugged right in.
Thing. We have to question why we fight. If we don't, we might as well be robots. I've made my choice. But what will the others think of me? I'm not turning my back on them, or the things we fought for. But there has to be another
Bees
way.
shought be able to fly.
What that is, I don't know
They,
yet,
of course,
but I'll
do
figure
so
it out.
anyways, because bees
It has
don't
to be
care
this
about
way.
the laws. Oh, you're done. Make your choice? Hold on, this is new. This might be like the last level of this branch. Don't know who this is. I've seen her multiple times, I just still don't know. It was all a dream. Why is her pupil ribbed? Why are there ripples in her eye? Ah, Imperial, you're finally awake. Wait, was that like an end? Oh, I actually finished one of the paths. That's not I was planning on ending the stream after that one, but apparently that was actually the last level of that one. Oh. Well, I think that was only like a third of the game. I mean, I probably played a good 40%, but there's still 2 more paths to do. So, I'll probably finish this on stream, maybe tomorrow, because I think there's another, like, hour and a half or so left. But, like, first impressions, I like it. The gameplay's fun. It has a couple of sluggish, annoying sections, but overall, fun. I'd recommend it. I think this game is like, if it's on like sale, which I think it is, but I don't know. Overall, I liked it. There's 4 main branches. Oh, I thought there was only 2 others, so there's actually 3 more branches to do. Nice. So I technically finished the game. There's more to it, and I'll probably play more of it this week, but for all intents and purposes, I've at least beat the base game. Now I can enjoy my yogurt. In loving memory of James Finlayson. F. That's me. It means me. I played it. Alright, I don't need that much thanks. You can go a little faster. Still don't understand what the name means. And don't understand what the story meant either. But That's it. I just beat one of the paths. Again, pretty damn fun. But that's gonna be the end of the stream. I think it's been like 2.5 hours or so, so I'm gonna call it there. I will be streaming more this week. There'll probably be 1 or 2 before New Year's. I don't know if I'll do anything for New Year's. I might enjoy it with my roommates or my family or something. But you'll catch me this weekend. But yeah, I would recommend Super Cloudbuilt. I think it was fun. I don't know how much success it got, but I didn't hear that much about it, and now I'm kind of sad I hadn't, because this definitely deserves some attention. Are you trading your scattergun? I'm a big fan. Nah, I'm just holding on to it right now. I'll probably give it to the next tip of the hat, honestly. But I appreciate the offer. What sort of witty end are you gonna do now? I don't know. Here's the reference again, if you want it. But I think this is the only true image. Randomly ending the stream is always funny. I would never do that. I would never randomly end the stream in the middle of talking. Because that would be rude. Bye, guys.